Hello and welcome to another episode of the Davescussion Podcast on this March 29th, 2019. So it's been an interesting couple of weeks since the last time I recorded. A bunch more information came out. My RWBY Volume 6 video finally came out after a whole bunch of shit. And I got a few topics to talk about, so yeah, let's begin. I guess the first thing I should talk about, though, is the RWBY Volume 6 review. I appreciate the comments and feedback you guys have been giving on the episode. Really appreciate it, especially after the delay since the last one, I think was the 100th episode. But at the same time, I did make a few mistakes. One of them was during my rant about Salem, specifically her throwing a hasty fit in her little castle thing, and I said it was because a relic was lost. As pointed out by the comments, and I'm going to show it on the screen here, I completely missed the point of that scene. It was because she was pissed that Ozpin got the relic, not that the relic itself was lost. So basically, I fucked that up in major detail, and the most frustrating thing about that is I had been proofreading that script several times and even took out a few segments of the review when editing that too, because I fucked up as well when editing it another time. Because I think I was getting on the God's case for not abandoning humanity like the story said, but I couldn't find it again. So I cut that bit out. And yet I still fucked this detail up. And when I went to go look up the scene again, this person was absolutely right. That's why she was pissed. So it's like, God fucking damn it. How did I miss this when I did so many revisions? Fuck. So I'm more so angry at myself because I missed this detail after spending so long editing, revising, and all that stuff, and I still missed this detail. Like, what the fuck was I thinking? So, yeah, and for the record, I'm not angry at this person for pointing out my mistakes. If anything, I really appreciate it, because if I do make a mistake, people should absolutely point it out to me. No, I'm more so angry at myself because I can't believe I fucking missed that detail. Like, what the fuck? Beating myself up aside, I guess there's a couple other things I could talk about really quickly, because, yeah, it was a really good comment. I really appreciate it. I also appreciate the other comments left, but I guess two other things I could potentially address, one of which is the whole Bumblebee thing with Blake and Yang potentially being a couple. Part of the reason I did not mention that is because, well, I don't know if they are a couple or not. Yes, they were holding hands at the end, and they got closer, but for all I know, that could mean they were closer friends. Now, if Volume 7 showcases that they're more of a couple, then I'll acknowledge it. And if anything, more power to them, good on them. But at this time, I don't know if they are a couple or not, because, well, they don't really spend much time on it. Again, if it does happen, then, yeah, I'll mention it, because I could see that working out. They have good chemistry. But right now, I just don't know, so hence why I didn't mention it. The other thing I did not mention was Vic Mignogna no longer voicing Crow. Why didn't I not mention that in the review? Well, it's because since Crow was played by Vic Mignogna for the entire volume, I didn't see a need to mention that whole situation in said volume. Now, in Volume 7, I will likely mention that, because Volume 7 will be the first volume where Crow is not played by Vic Mignogna, but since he was voicing Crow in the entirety of Volume 6, that's why I didn't mention it. Now, if you're wondering my actual thoughts on the controversy, I'm going to leave it like this. I'm not on either side right now because this whole situation is messy and anything could fucking happen at this point. That's why I keep rooting for that fucking trial to happen so that we can get a more concrete answer by the law on who's innocent, either Vic or the victims. So yeah, that's where I stand on that issue, and that's why I didn't bring up Vic's recasting. There wasn't really a need for me to bring it up, basically. Especially because he played Crow in the entirety. Not like Crow did much in the volume anyways, but that's not important. Okay, on to the next topic, which is the Evangelion Netflix announcement. For those who don't know, Netflix is going to be getting Evangelion in June of this year. It was originally announced in November to be coming out in the spring, but recent plans have come out saying that it's coming out in June. And so people aren't happy about that. As for me, I'm excited to see it because it's the first time in a long time Evangelion has been on an illegal platform and not the piracy sites. Fun times. But I can understand why some people are frustrated. Now, why do I think it's coming out in June and not spring as originally planned? I think that might have to do with the dub that they're allegedly working on. See, for those who don't know, there's allegations coming around that Netflix is not going to be using the original English dub for Evangelion. And if that is true, then I could see that being a major factor. Or another situation that could have popped up was they were originally going to use the original cast, but the people who had the rights to the dub wouldn't give it to them. So they likely had to decide, okay, fine, we'll just do our own dub. And then they had to audition, then they had to get the VAs, and they had to do all the stuff that goes into an English dub. So I could see that being a factor, but in the end, I don't know if it is a factor or not, because I don't see them telling us why. It's possible it could be the dub, but it could be anything else at this point. And if it is the Netflix dub, I could see that being a potential reason why. But like I said, we don't know. Anything could happen. I'm still looking forward to the dub, but we'll see how it goes. Next up is, oh boy, this arc. So in my RWBY video, I talk shit about the joint training arc, aka the Class 1A versus 1B arc, whichever one you want to go with. It was a recent arc in the manga that came to an end recently. And I'm not going to spoil too much about it if you're curious or haven't read it yet, so don't worry. Me and the anime isn't even covering it right now anyways, when it comes out in October, because it's going to be covering the hero internship arc, and maybe the, what was the name of it? It was the arc that came out after that. I had the Logan Paul inspired villain. Anyway, whatever. So, some people were wondering my thoughts on it, or why I had issues with the arc in question, so really, I can sum it up in two major issues. First one being, I don't care about Class 1B. They're not interesting characters, their quirks fucking suck for the most part, or are uninteresting, and really, why the fuck should I care about them anyways? They're not interesting personality or writing-wise, their character interactions are kind of boring, and really, why the fuck should I care? I barely care about most of Class 1A to begin with, so why should I care about these other fucking characters? I'm not even kidding. When this arc started, the only character who wasn't part of Class A that I liked was Shinso, and he's not even in 1B. So what the fuck does that say? But yeah, I'm not a fan of 1B, so really why the fuck should I care about them as characters? And that doesn't help my opinions of this arc when they're part of the main focus as well. But another issue I have is, well, the heavy focus on ability development, or basically them getting stronger only in terms of power, not as characters. Now, we do get stuff like Tokayami's experience with Hawks, which was a nice scene, I like that. But for the most part, it was just stuff like, oh, Momo's stronger with her abilities, and that's it. Oh, Todoroki gets stronger with his ability, and I'm like, okay, that's great, but are you gonna do like the hero internship arc and also develop their characters a bit? No, you're just gonna mostly develop their strengths? I mean, hell, when we got the Bakugo's team match, I was more so excited about that than any of the other fights in this arc, because we saw Bakugo grow a bit as a character and work more with teams. That was a great part of his development. That was something I liked, and one of the few bits where he got actual character development and not ability development like they did with Momo and to an extent Shoto. And I'm not saying, oh, you can only have character development. The hero internship arc showed that you can have both, and that's something I really liked. Kirishima especially. He got stronger ability-wise, but he also got expanded upon as a character too, and I like that. That's something I can appreciate. Gee, it's almost like he can have both character and ability development in the same fucking arc. But that's my big issue. Instead of these characters getting more interesting or expanded upon, they just get stronger ability-wise. And I'm like, great. But I barely cared about these characters anyways, for the most part, so why should I care about them getting stronger? I barely cared about Momo, so why the fuck should I care about her getting stronger ability-wise? Like, they are... Okay, My Hero Academia already has a problem with a lot of 1A being underdeveloped, at least in comparison. Like, Ida gets developed, Shota gets developed, Uraraka gets developed to an extent. Suyu doesn't so much, and it's kind of confusing, but whatever. A couple arcs ago, we got Kirishima developed, and that's really good. Bakugo gets development, and, Mina kind of gets some development, except it's more of a backstory expansion. And that's it. Like, you have about 20 or so characters you could be developing, but you're not doing that. You're trying to bring in 1B, but you barely expanded on 1A for the most part. Not even half of them are developed. I think almost half, or even less. No, I think it's less. So it's like, why should I care then? Like, great, they're stronger, but if you don't give me a reason to care about them, then why should I care about them getting stronger? It's just random what's-their-face getting stronger. I don't care. But, yeah, those are my thoughts on Class 1A versus 1B. It was a fucking slog to go through, and I'm sure if I were to review the arc itself, I'd have a lot more complaints. But yeah, those are my issues. 1B was fucking uninteresting, and the emphasis on ability development, I did not care for. In fact, I was literally skimming through chapters because, and to my surprise, when I look back, just in case, I didn't miss anything, for the most part. outside of the few moments I talked about, because those were like few glimming moments in a really boring fucking arc. Legit, the current arc we're in right now with, especially the recent chapter with Shigaraki's backstory to an extent, that was good shit. That was really good stuff. And I'm interested to see where this goes. But yeah, the 1A versus 1B, aka joint training, I don't like it. It's so fucking boring. Next topic. Oh, okay. Now we're moving into something more light. Monster Hunter 15th anniversary. 15 years ago, we got the original Monster Hunter on the PlayStation 2. Really good stuff, and I'm excited for it. My first game was Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate on the 3DS admittedly, but I got in thanks to my friend Light talking about it a lot, and I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. I'm interested in it, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah, the swimming controls were a pain in the ass, but I enjoyed the monsters, I enjoyed the world, I enjoyed the hunting mechanic. A lot of fun, even though I had a technically inferior port. But it was good stuff. I didn't get 4 Ultimate because at the time I kind of forgot I didn't even really know it was a thing or it was expensive, so I couldn't get my hands on it. Because I think I got 3 Ultimate on a sale. So I just skimmed it, and then when I saw Generation, I was like, oh, it's all pretty much all the previous Monster Hunter games together? Well, for the most part, it's the locations. I'm like, hell yeah, let's do it. And I spent, I think about 150 hours into the original Generations game on the 3DS. God, that was a lot of fun. But yeah, I enjoyed that. I got Generations Ultimate on the Switch, put about 200 hours into that. A lot of bosses I fucking hate in that game, though. I'm going to say that flat out. But yeah, part of the appeal for me with Monster Hunter is fighting really interesting monsters, seeing the interesting locales of it, the great music, basically killing the enemies and getting their parts to make even better weapons, especially when playing with friends. That's a lot of fun, too. It's a lot of fun. It's basically just beating the crap out of really challenging monsters and getting really good stuff. And the interesting elements and all that crap. It's a really good experience, and I'm really happy to see it still going after 15 years. Have not played World, unfortunately. I own the PC version, but my PC's not really good with handling it. In the future, I hope to play it and probably spend about 200 more hours into it. But I look forward to it. Who knows, maybe I'll put out a countdown or something related to Monster Hunter this year, because it is the 15th anniversary after all. But yeah, I'm really excited about Iceborne. It looks like a lot of fun. I'm sure we're going to see a bunch more ice monsters. I'm hoping they're not just going to be ice variants, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, happy 15th anniversary Monster Hunter, and that's my experience with Monster Hunter as a franchise. And now we move into anime-related stuff. This is kind of a minor thing, but I just want to quickly talk about it because I've talked about this service before. So, about a week or so ago, Crunchyroll announced it's going to be increasing its subscription price to $7.99 US for a month and $79.99 US for yearly subscriptions. I've seen a bunch of people complain about this and potentially cancel their subscriptions, and here's my thoughts on the situation. While it's not as expensive as Netflix, I feel like this could be a problem, especially because, as pointed out by several people, there are still issues with the comments section, there are issues with the site, there are issues with the player that they could be doing. And I feel like this could be a bad move if the service does not justify the price. If this money is used to fix some of these problems, I'm perfectly fine with paying $7.99 for monthly subscriptions or $79.99 for a yearly subscription. If not, then yeah, it's still not as bad as Netflix, though. I'm going to say that flat out. It's still cheaper than getting a Netflix subscription, though with Netflix you have a lot more options, not just anime. However, I can understand why some people are upset. I just hope that with this price increase, it'll do more good for the website than harm. Next up is, oh boy, this pisses me the fuck off. So, for those who don't know, a while back, some random fuck on eBay was scamming about 100 customers with buying non-existent Switch consoles. I will link the article in the description and comments, but this is fucking stupid. But this pisses me the fuck off. I already had a really nasty experience with someone who sold me my Switch, only selling me the fucking screen and the goddamn Joy-Cons, meaning I had to spend more money than I would have had to buy for the fucking Switch because it said Nintendo Switch console, and then he only sent me the 2 fucking items. But this fucking Christ, people go on eBay to get a usually cheaper deal than what other sites are offering. And when you do this to people, you're fucking them over like this, you can go fuck yourself for that shit. And yeah, you may get attention for this, but here's the thing, eBay's going to remember this. And eBay is investigating this shit. And sure enough, karma did bite him hard in the ass because now G-Trade 2015 is no longer a registered user. It would have been nice for eBay to step in sooner, but at least it's fucking done now. And this pile of filth can go fuck himself. Hopefully everyone who bought these things can get their money back. And to close things off, I'm going to do something a little bit different that the original podcast didn't have. That being a mini what if. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done one of these, but yeah, the purpose of these is a little bit of a one-shot, see where it goes. And if you guys like it, I'll probably do more of these in the next time I do a podcast. So for today's one, we're going to start with something a little bit simpler. What if Summer Rose from RWBY survived? The thing with this one is, we don't know the ultimate factors that resulted in her death. We know she was on a mission, we know she died before the start of the series, we know she's a Silver Eyes warrior, but that's about it. We don't know ultimately her final mission. So for the sake of this what if, the original scenario would be something like, her and her team were going to fight a giant fucking Grimm. She tried using her Silver Eye, someone stepped in and stopped her, doesn't matter who, it's not important, and then she got killed. So for this what if, we're going to say that someone was able to stop that person from altering Summer's ability to use the Silver Eyes, and then they take on the Grimm, albeit they get severely injured, including Summer, but Summer survives as well as her team. I don't want to kill off any other members of the team because then it would just be replacing one death with another. There's no reason for that, especially because we don't know the ultimate circumstance. So, Summer survives, she gets all healed up, and she and Tai Yang raise their 2 kids, even if one of them is technically Summer's half-daughter, but whatever. Maybe Yang and RWBY could get stronger because Summer's around. Maybe not. It's possible. Either way, if not, then the series would just continue as normal. And when Volume 3 comes around, specifically the finale, I could see Summer and RWBY talking about the whole Silver Eyes thing. Maybe get more information on that a little bit quicker. But in the scenario where they were stronger before the start of the series, then I could see the 2 being a little bit stronger than they were in the canon. But I don't think it would be enough because narrative convenience and tension. And then in Volume 3, the Silver Eyes stuff would happen. Maybe, again, Summer and RWBY could talk about the whole Silver Eyes thing, get more information from Summer because she is a Silver Eyed warrior. Or, hell, maybe have Summer join RWBY and her gang on the way to Atlas and the like. And maybe in, like, Volume 6's version, they could meet up with Maria and then they have a Silver Eyes reunion because there's 3 Silver Eyes warriors there, even if one of them is now blind. That could make for something interesting. So that's basically the little what if. This is what I mean by saying mini what if, because there's not really a lot to go off of with Summer Rose's death or final mission. So this is what I got. I don't know. What do you guys think with this? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like this podcast, feel free to leave a like, comment, and if you want to see more, feel free to subscribe. Special thanks to my patrons. And that's all I got to say. So have a fantastic day, everyone.